Today I'm unboxing this month's Beads of the Month featuring Red Rutilated Jasper, the Antique Brass Findings Pack, and the Princess Party Rotating Collection. I'll finish with a quick red jasper project at the end, and I'll come back at a later date to show you a quick bracelet using the Princess Party Rotating Collection. So let's get started! So here is this month's single Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month club called Princess Party. So here's a quick overview of it. And this is the box that if you use my discount code DINA10 and sign up with Beads of the Month, then you can get this box on a rotating basis, or a monthly basis, excuse me, which is the rotating Beads of the Month. So this month we get this one. Next month we'll end up getting, I believe it's Czech Fire Polish, I believe is the next month that we get. So it rotates through 6 different ones. There's Czech Fire Polish, there's the Hot and Trendy 2-hole Beads of the Month, there is the 11-0 Seed Beads, 11-0 Delicas, and Gemstones Beads of the Month. So we'll go through this one first, and then we'll go through the Gemstone Beads of the Month and the Findings Companion Pack at the end. Then I'll make a quick little tutorial. Alright, so first thing that you get in this month, or this box, is called wheels, is what these are called. They're wheel beads, and they kind of resemble like a wheel. So you can see a little bit of an indentation here inside the bead, so it looks like a tire. You would see, you know, how a tire would look. So kind of interesting. Really like these beads. This is the color in Chalk Red Luster. You get 7 grams of these in the single pack, and there's also a double rotating Beads of the Month. So if you're not understanding my single and my double, I sign up for the single packs, but there's also a double rotating Beads of the Month. So instead of getting 7 grams in the single pack with the double, if you sign up for that one instead, you would get 14 grams. So you'd get twice as much. The next one is Amethyst Wavy Leaf Beads. You get 15 of these. So these are your typical little leaves. You can see, yeah, you can see a little bit of detail and stuff like that. And then your hole goes through the top of the leaf up here at the top, if you're not familiar with them. So you get 15 of those. Next little bag are Rizzo beads, which are basically little baby daggers. It's in the color Jet Purple Iris Matte. You get 7 grams of these. So very, very nice, pretty purple with a little bit of green in there every once in a while. Kind of has a little bit of a gold tone every once in a while. Something like that. So very pretty. Then you get some bridge beads, and these are in the color Aluminum. You get 7 grams of these. And bridge beads is actually a 3-hole bead. You can see the 3 holes sitting right there. And then this is what the side view is. So your middle hole right here, or this is your middle hole that goes through the center, and then on either end has 2 holes as well. So it's a nice 3-hole bead to use. The next one you get are some mushroom beads. These are Chalk Travertine Red Mushroom Beads. You get 12 pieces of these. Now the mushroom beads, I'll just use a needle. This has thread on it, so just disregard the thread at the moment. But the mushroom beads have a hole that go through the bottom portion of the bead down here. And then when you hold it up like that, it looks like a mushroom. So it's got these little indentions on either side. So just something fun to work with. And I'll go ahead and I'll show this right away too. I'm probably not going to do a video on this. It was just me kind of playing around and everything. But just made a cute little earring. So I'll hold it up a little bit closer so you can see it. So I used the mushroom beads and then some of the O beads that I'm about to show you too, and a bunch of seed beads. If you want me to come back and make a video on this guy, let me know down in the comments and I shall do that. Alright, so the next one you get is the O beads. These are in Crystal Magic Wine. You get 6.5 grams of these, which is a whole lot of O beads, because that's part of it. I used some in that earring that I showed you, and then here's the rest. It is one little bitty small thing. So it's a whole lot of beads that you get. So I really like that color too, with the rich red color, and it's got that gold hue to it also. It's really pretty. I really like the magic wine colors. The magic colors. Now here's some melon beads. We get purple pearl melon is what they're called. So it's your typical little melon bead, and I think these are, they look to be maybe 6mm. Yeah, the little container says PRLM and then 06. Usually that number afterwards, whenever you look at your containers, usually that number afterwards is the size of the bead. So then this one should be a 6mm bead. And then, like, let's just look at the mushrooms. Mushrooms say 98, so it's a 9 by 8mm bead. And then the bridge beads are a 3 by 12mm bead. So kind of gives you an idea of what the sizes are and things like that. So something interesting just in case you didn't know. And then the last container in this one are gumdrop beads. These are in Tanzanite AB. You get 12 pieces of these, and these look like a gumdrop. So there is the AB coating. Let's see if I can hold it up so it's not blurry. There we go. So there's AB coating on that side, and then your hole goes down. There we go. The center up here at the top. And then the other side is just your Tanzanite purple color. So very pretty. I really, really, really love this combination of the gumdrops, the melon beads, and these bridge beads. So hint, hint, hint. Maybe coming back and doing something with that soon. Alright, so that is your rotating beads of the month, which is the hot and trendy for this month. So meet me back and we'll go through the gemstones. So let's go through our Red Rutilated Jasper beads. Now these are the single gemstone beads of the month yet again. So this is the first one that you get. This is a large hole hishi, and it's 4 by 6mm. So you can obviously see there is a large hole there. And it's kind of nice. It's one of those things that you might be able to get like some silk through there, or some sort of string, you know, more than just thread and needle, that type of thing. And you can obviously get a couple of rounds of the soft flex wire through that too if you wanted to do something special with that. So that is that one, and I'll show you a little bit more closer up at what this red jasper looks like when we get to the pendant at the end. So the second one is 5 by 8mm faceted rondelles. You get 10 of these, and these are really pretty. You get a little bit more of the brown and the tawny colors that are in here. So a little bit more, that one has like more of a cream color. And that one's got a little bit of brown on the side too. So these are really, really pretty. Just your typical faceted rondelle size. The next one are faceted coins, and these are 10mm. You get 8 of these. And these are very cool as well, because you can see that some of them have a couple of the inclusions in it. And then this one has like just a little line through that one. So very, very pretty. This one's actually pretty solid red. Huh, that's cool. That one's a really good solid red. So different things that you get with the gemstones, just like always. Next one is 6 by 10mm large hole rondelles. So you get another one that's a nice large hole. And here again, you got some that have a little bit more of the creamy colors. Just different things that are running through the gemstone, different parts of the gemstone and everything. So very, very pretty. Nice, another large hole that you can use. And then the last thing you get is this very cool pendant. It's been a while since we've gotten a pendant, so I was very, very excited to get this. And this is something that I don't have. I don't have a triangular pendant like this. And it is 35 by 45mm. It is actually various shapes. So some people may be getting different types of pendants than I did. But this shows you very much up close, if I can get the glare away, all the different inclusions and everything in the stone. So that's why it's called rutilated, because it has something else that's running through it. So it's not just red jasper, but there's other things that are running through it. I don't know enough about the red jasper rutilated part to let you know exactly what's running through it, but it's very pretty no matter what, because there's the dark gray colors here. This is just like a little bit lighter of a gray. You've got a line that's going in this direction, It's really kind of neat. I really like this. It's a very, very neat pendant. I really like this side, I think, the best. So we're going to come back and we're going to make a necklace using this pendant. Here, after we go through our next bag, our next box, which is the Antique Antique, got a cheat, I forgot, Antique Brass, sorry, Antique Brass Assortment Findings Companion Pack. So meet you back in a moment. So now let's go through the Antique Brass Findings Companion Pack. So the first thing you get, which is attached to my ear wire, is this magnetic leaf clasp. Very, very pretty, very detailed. You can see the leaf patterns on both sides. Very nice. And then I haven't been able to get this open only because I don't have it on anything at the moment. So I'm pretty sure it opens up, and my nails are thick because I get them done. So there we go. Okay, good. That's why I couldn't get it open, because it does have the little safety mechanisms right there. So whenever you've got the hole on this side and then the pin on the other side, when you line that up, that helps keep the magnet from just sliding off, basically. So it's a nice little safety mechanism. So very nice to have this. Really like that. The next thing you get is ear hooks with a bail. You get 2 pairs of these. Now I only have just the one out, so I can show you what it looks like, because all the other ones obviously look the same. So your bail actually has the hole facing you, and then that way you can use either a jump ring or attach it to the ear wire like this. So we are going to use one of these bails in the necklace portion of it, so we can attach our pendant to our necklace. So if you want to, you can just open up the loop back here on the ear wire and then just take that bail off, and then we'll use that in with the necklace tutorial. Next thing you get is a flower lobster clasp. You get one of these. So I will most likely have this be my clasp for the earring, for the necklace. So here's your flower clasp, and it's a flower on both sides. So it's nice, very nice large one to use. And I like to use lobster clasps on my necklaces anyway, so that's going to come in handy. You get 4 of these. These are little pattern cone bead caps, basically. So that's what it looks like. Hopefully it's coming in focus. I'm trying to twirl it in my hand so you can see the different, the detail and everything on it. So you get 4 of these guys. Then you get 10 of these leaf bead caps that should fit 8 to 9 millimeter beads. Excuse me, but we're going to do something slightly different. So we're going to need these bead caps, and I don't think I'm going to use the other ones. I think I'm just going to use these. But we'll go through that a little bit more here in a minute. But you can see the leaf detail and everything on the side of it. And then that's what it looks like on the inside. So nice large bead caps. Then you get your typical head pins. You get 12 of these. And these are just antique brass, and they've got a normal head pin to it. Normal flat head pin to it. And then you get jump rings. Nothing special about the jump rings. They're 5 millimeter and they are 22 gauge. You get 16 of these. So that is this month's Beads of the Month clubs that I receive. So meet me back in just a moment. The next page you will actually see a supplies needed page, which is going to consist of most of our gemstones down over here. Not all of them, but most of them. And then quite a few of our findings that we got in this month's pack. So meet me back in just a moment and we'll go through that necklace. Alright, so I have everything all laid out. And this part is going to be a little bit different than what I typically do. I usually go through step by step and show you how to create whatever it is that you're wanting to create. Well, this one I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm going to show you the process of how I come up with my ideas, basically. We're going to go through that today. So I'm going to be using the Softflex 49 strand, what is this? Darn it. Soft Flex Metallics 49 strand beading cable or beading wire. It's the medium size. I'm using the antique brass color today, which is going to be this color. I'm also going to be using a whole lot of these gold or topaz colored seed beads. These are transparent light topaz. It is Miyuki's number 132, which you saw that on the page before. So just in case you have any in your stash and you want to follow along, then you can. The reason why I like to use a lot of transparent beads, especially when I use the wire, I'm just putting a couple on so I can show you, and I've done this on other videos too, is that you can still see the bead color, but then you see the wire through that bead color too. So it just kind of adds to it. It just adds just like this nice little gleam to it. So we're going to do that today. So I'm going to put the spool of wire off to the side. I've already cut off about 24 inches. I'm thinking about a 16-inch necklace is probably what we're going to need because this pendant's a little bit smaller, so I kind of want it to sit kind of sort of in that sweet spot. So about 16 to 17 inches is what I'm shooting for. And if you haven't noticed, I'm kind of going against my own rules is basically the best way of saying that. Typically when I do my Beads of the Month Club videos, I usually do one with just the gemstones, and I try to use the findings that come with the come in that month too, if it goes along with the gemstone and everything. And I don't use the rotating Beads of the Month. Well, when I was putting this up off the tray, I thought that it went very well with everything, because you've got the gold colors that kind of play off with the gold color, the seed bead, you've got all the different shades of the red colors and everything that go along with this, and there's also a little bit of brownish gold in some of these beads, so I just felt like this went really, really well. So I'm kind of breaking my own rules on that one. Alright, so typically what I do whenever I have something in mind and I don't know exactly what it is, I get everything all laid out like this. Next thing I do is sometimes I use a head pin to show me how I'm going to have everything sitting aside. So I'm just going to pull out one of the head pins. We're not going to use this in the necklace, but at least it gives me an idea of what I'm going to be doing. I could be using just the wire too, but I usually use a head pin to start off with. So I know for sure I'm going to need a seed bead. I almost always start with a seed bead, no matter what. So I'm going to put a seed bead on the head pin just to see what it looks like. And I think I'm going to start with this guy. And that's the other reason why I wanted to use the seed bead. This hole in these bead caps. Come on, focus, you can do it. There we go. The hole in those bead caps are really, really large. So you're probably going to need a seed bead no matter what you're using. So that way it keeps things from falling off and everything. And like I said earlier, we're going to be using seed beads on our necklace anyway to kind of fill in the gaps. So I'm going to go ahead and put a seed bead there. And it's wobbling around quite a bit. I wonder if that's going to work. So these are the 5x8 rondelles, I think. Yeah, these are the 5x8 rondelles. And then these are the 6x10 rondelles. I think... well, we can look and see what the 6x10 looks like. So that looks kind of neat. I like that. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting it on the head pin just to kind of get an idea of what it looks like as far as the size is concerned. So there is that one, but I'm going to put one of the smaller ones on and just to see if it changes it up any. Now it does, the leaf portion does stick out some. So that's something that you have to kind of think about too, is if you want something like that to happen. If you want the leaf portion to stick out, or if you want it to be flush. If you want it to be flush, then I would use, I would use the bigger of the rondelles, and that's more flush. See the difference? So I think I'm just going to do different today, and I think I'm going to use this guy. And then I think I'm going to put another seed bead, another one of these on, and then I think I'm going to close it out and just put that there. So that way it's just kind of a nice little thing like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll put it that way. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's pick up maybe 3 seed beads. Test spacing here. And then let's use the coin next. So I almost feel like I need to have something in between there. Oh yeah, and I'm not even using these guys yet. Goodness gracious. Okay, I am looking at something that I did earlier today, just to get an idea. So, because I was playing around with these earlier today too, so kind of get an idea of what I did earlier. Alright, so let's go back and let's add these guys in. So I'm going to keep that, and then, yeah. So let's add in our O beads in between. And we'll put this guy back on. And then go through there. So that creates something a little bit different, a little bit more interest to it. So let's go ahead and put maybe all 3 of these on, and what happens when we put the O beads on either side of this guy? Does it look too funny or not? And then push it all the way down, just to kind of get an idea of what it looks. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. So let's go ahead and put 3 more seed beads on. And then we would start another one of these again. Now I don't have a whole lot of these. I think they came with 10, if I remember right. I think we got 10 of these guys. So if I'm going to have this be my focal, then I just want probably 2 rounds of this. So we'll put another round of these guys, and then another of one of these guys, and then I think that's probably going to be it. So, but yeah, I think I kind of like that. It's just different. It's neat. So that's kind of what I go by. All right, so what we're going to do first, I'm going to start off in, I need a bead stopper. One of these little buggy bead stopper thingies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bead stopper thingy on one side. I'm going to start with stringing on, I'm going to start with just the 3 seed beads. I'm basically going to do this portion first, and I'm going to do it twice. Then I'm going to do the center portion and then add this guy. And I'll show you how to add the bail and everything if you're not familiar with it. Alright, so we're going to add on 3 seed beads, one of our disc beads. Oh, wait, no, we did O beads in between. So we're going to do an O bead. And I'm not going to string on all of this. I'm just going to get to the halfway point, and then I will finish the rest off camera and then come back and show you how to finish the necklace. I'm just doing this one a little bit different. I'm doing 3 more seed beads. Doing this one a little bit different to kind of give you an idea of how it is that I come up with my ideas and what I do and everything to kind of troubleshoot and get things done. So that's what I have so far. So it's basically the same thing that we just did. So I got the 3 seed beads, a O bead, the disc O bead, 3 seed beads, the bead cap, the rondelle O bead, seed bead O bead, and then we're going to finish it off by doing the other rondelle, and then the other bead cap going the opposite direction, like that. And then we're going to repeat this one more time. So we're going to do 3 more seed beads, and then an O bead, one of the discs, O bead, 3 seed beads, the bead cap, one of our rondelles. And I'm just picking up any of our rondelles. I'm not really specifically saying, oh, I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use that one. I'm just picking up one rondelle and going with it. Except that one looks kind of cool. Wait, no, that way. I want the grains to be seen on that one. That one's pretty neat. Hold that one up for you. So that one's pretty neat. Alright, and then we're going to finish this one off. Alright, so then that would technically be the two portions along the side of the necklace. I'll put that down a little bit. So that's going to be the two little things around the side of the necklace. So now I'm just going to add 5 seed beads. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because I think that's going to be plenty to put your bail on. Like that. And let's see, is that jump ring going to go around these seed beads? It looks like it's going to. And if it does, yep, it does. Okay, so I will come back and we'll attach our pendant at the end. Let's see, do I want 5 seed beads or do I want 4? Because if I do 4, then that will have a spot to sit in between. But if I do 5, let's see if I can get that in focus for you. If I do 4 seed beads, then your jump ring will have a spot for your pendant to sit in. But if I do 5, then everything would have to be really, really tight all the time. And, you know, it's going to go back and forth and everything like this, but at least it would not be odd. So if something is a little bit looser and it ends up like that, well, now you have 3 seed beads on the one side and 2 on the other side. So I think I'm only going to put 4 seed beads in the center. Alright, so 4 seed beads. Alright, now I'm going to go off screen and I will finish adding the rest of the beads, and then I'll come back and I will show you how to add that bail. I'm having issues, so I'm just going to take it off. Alright, so I'm going to come back, show you how to add the bail and finish off the rest of the necklace. Alright, so here's our necklace so far. So kind of cool. Alright, so I ended up adding about 4 inches on either end of our seed beads. And, sorry, husband's texting me. Alright, so I ended up adding about 4 inches of our seed beads on either end, and I went ahead and I just made the loop for our lobster clasp over here off to the side. So the loop is made in the same way that I'm going to show you how to add the lobster clasp. It's just made a little bit larger of a loop so the lobster can actually hook onto it. So, what I ended up doing is there is about 13 of your 8/0 Miyuki seed beads in an inch, give or take. So I ended up adding 13 times 4, whatever that is, 49, 52? I don't know if I did that right. Anyways, I did 13 times 4 on either side. Good gracious, yeah, I know how to do math. It's just the weekend and I don't want to do it right now. And that way it added the extra length and everything. And this is about 15 inches or so. So this may end up being just a little bit too short. If it ends up being a little too short, once you get done with, said and done with everything, just add yourself an extender clasp right here. Just put some jump rings on. You can use a bunch of these jump rings and everything, because this guy should attach to that jump ring no problem. So just add a string of jump rings at the end, and then that'll give you some extra length. So if that happens to you, then that's something that you can do. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to tie off the end of this necklace first, which is going to be very similar to the other side. Just this side's a little bit more difficult because you have to make sure that you're not getting your necklace too tight as far as all the beads and everything down here. So I put the crumb tube on first, so we're going to put that on first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of twirl this up a little bit to make sure that things are a little bit loose, but not too loose. Now we need to put our lobster clasp on, because this side is going to be the one with the lobster. Then we're going to take the wire and go back through the crimp tube. This is another reason why I like to use seed beads up against or on my wire and everything, transparent seed beads, so that way we have something that goes up against the crimp tube itself. The crimp tube itself is not going to be scratchy. Sometimes the wire, when you cut off the wire, sometimes that could be a little scratchy. So it just depends on how close you can get to your crimp tube itself. I don't think I was in focus at all during that. So it just kind of depends on how close you can get to your crimp tube itself. So that's one reason why I like to use seed beads, and then that kind of helps keep that from being a possibility. So something to think about if you're having issues. So what you want to do is you want to get your lobster to be big enough, the loop on the lobster be big enough to where the lobster can move around and everything. You don't want it to be too tight. So I'm actually pushing the crimp tube down towards the seed beads right now. And I'm doing that so I know, okay, this is how tight this is going to end up being. Now I'm going to give myself just a little bit of room so I can get that crimp tube in there. So I'm going to stick my fingernail in between the bead, the last bead there, and the crimp tube. And when I do that, then that's when I'm going to put my crimp tube in my crimper. And then that helps to give just a little bit of extra room right there in between that last bead and your crimper. If you're still not liking the length, so if something moves on you, then just hold on to the crimp tube just slightly and then move it down your wire like that. So just tug on your wire and then move it down until your pliers are right up against that seed bead to wherever your liking is at. So there's a little bit of daylight in between there, so I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp down and then just open up the crimp tube just ever so slightly and keep turning it until you don't feel any more resistance. And when that's the case, when that happens, then your crimp tube should be done. That was not a very good crimp. It's been a minute since I've crimped, other than the one that I just did off camera here. So I kind of blotched that one a little bit, but it doesn't look too bad though. So you can see that you can correct that a lot of the times. That one of the little spots over here was not done. And then you just do a tug test. So I'm tugging on it on both ends and this thing ain't moving. So it's in there. And then now you just cut off that little bit of excess. And this is what I was talking about, why I like to have the seed beads up against there, because sometimes you leave just a little bit enough there at the end that it might be a little scratchy because it is wire. So then I'm going to save this part, and then this is how much I had left over on the other end. So remember, we had 24 inches cut off. So if that's too much, then you can kind of use this as a gauge as to how much that you would need for yours. So that is that part of the necklace done. So we're going to go ahead and put this together. So there you go. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. So now we're going to get the pendant on. So these pinch bails, I just took that one off of one of the earrings. So the pinch bails are pretty simple to use. So they come already pinched together like that. So you just need to make them wider. Okay, too many things in the background. I'm going to have to move that out of the way. There we go. So now you just have to make them wider. So you can use pliers if you want to, or you can use your fingers. And then just pull it apart. Like that. And see how it's open now? Then you just put it on to your pendant. And then most of the time you can use your fingers again and then just pinch it back closed. That's why they're called pinch bails. Very easy, very simple to use. And there you go. So there's your bail onto your pendant. So I'm just going to pinch one more time, make sure it's in there really good. And then we're going to add the jump ring. Whoops. As I'm running into a bunch of stuff that's sitting off to my side. So open up your jump ring, attach it to your pendant. Now this one, I think I'm going to put this as the front side, because as you remember when I was unboxing this, I really liked that little stripe right there. I think that adds character to the pendant and everything. So this is going to be my front. So pick up the jump ring to where I can add it on in the correct way. Come on, quit flopping around. Alright, so this is going to be the front. So we want... Okay, let me think about this. I want my clasp to be on the right hand side. So when you're doing it, I'm going to flip it around like this. Alright, so the clasp is on the right hand side right now. So then I'm going to put this is facing this way. So I'm going to turn it around because that's the way that I want it. I want this in the front, and then we're going to wrap this around the seed beads. Really probably going to go in between the seed beads, which is perfectly fine, which is why I decided to go ahead and just do 4 seed beads instead of 5 there. So that way I know it is on the correct side. Whoop. I just closed that up a little weird, so we're going to try to fix that. There we go. And yep, that looks closed. If it's not closed, then I will fix it off camera. So that now completes our necklace for this month's Gemstone Beads of the Month Club. And like I said in the beginning, I will come back at a later date and I will show you how to make a bracelet using the Hot and Trendy Beads of the Month. So I'll see you back soon. That's how this necklace came together using the Red Rutilated Jasper, Antique Brass Findings, Miyuki seed beads, and a few O beads from the Hot and Trendy collection. If you enjoyed this project, like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming out next. I'll be back soon with a bracelet tutorial using the Hot and Trendy beads.